What's going on, guys? If you're not seeing this on Facebook, my name is Ryan Lee. I've decided to just kind of start a YouTube page, kind of a sports channel type thing called Next Level Sports. I've always been a huge sports fan, and at a very young age, I realized that I watch sports differently than most people. I tend to not, waste my time spending countless hours, bitching about, this guy should be fired, or this guy's an idiot, or this guy should get more playing time because I've never seen him play and he's the third string and he was a 5-star, and I don't care, not that I say I don't care. I watch sports, and I'm more focused on what's going on the field and how it's being played, and how the guys that are playing can either do better, or what they're doing well, or how they're doing it well, or whatever. Just kind of and it's the reason I call it Next Level Sports, is I try to, when let's say I'm gonna break down a game, or I'm gonna break down parts of a game. I'm not gonna sit here and go, well, Chuck, the key to this game is that the defense gets off the field on third down. Well, no shit, hot take, dipshit. I want to be able to show you how I think they can get off the field on third down, or they need to run the ball to be successful. Oh, okay, great. You can say that about 99% of football games. I want to show you how they can run the ball, and I watch blocking schemes. I watch protection, sliding I played quarterback growing up, and I wasn't very good, but my mind still thinks like that, and from a football perspective, and it's kind of just the way I watch games. I'm not fun to watch games with. I understand that. I'm not worried about it. I don't need a crowd with me to watch games, but it's just how my mind works, and I enjoy it, so that's really all I care. I don't really give a shit if you enjoy it. But there are people out there that would like, maybe they don't like it, but they need it. Maybe a little bit more in-depth analysis before they go spout their mouth. So, maybe I can provide that and spout my mouth at the same time. I'll touch on topics from, it's football season now, so, whatever. I'll talk about whatever, whenever. If you got opinions or things you want me to talk about, or whatever, let me know. I don't skimp on sports, so if it's out there, I've watched it or seen it or have an opinion on it. So I'm kind of just gonna let it evolve and kind of use the channel to take how my brain works and somehow get it to my mouth and out into the world. So we'll see. Again, Next Level Sports. If you're seeing this on Facebook, share. We'll see where it goes. Appreciate it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Kind of just wanted to make a quick video on some of one of the hot topics that's being discussed right now that I guess kind of maybe disagree with the majority of people, but it's with all the bowls being announced and whatnot, all these either draft eligible juniors, sophomores, redshirt sophomores, seniors, whatever, skipping the bowl games, and especially the ones that are pretty much guaranteed high picks in the draft. And these, like any other topic that gets discussed, you just get this big, snowball of stupid out there. And these people that are just, oh, well, he has no pride, and he has this, and he's just, he's not a good teammate. I promise you, if you talk to half of his teammates in the locker room, they would probably support his decision. So number one, you're making an assumption, and number two, you're just wrong. So you're going to tell me that this guy has no pride and he doesn't care about his school and blah blah blah. Look, you're fooling yourself if you think these guys are doing anything but playing to get paid, and I don't blame them. You went to school so that you could work and get paid. They're doing the same thing. Just because they got paid to go to school or had a scholarship or whatever the hell it is, they fulfilled their D1 scholarship, requirements. Like, well, I don't understand. I get, like, I'm a fan. I'm not. If it were me, I'd want every player to play every single game. But at the same time, like, if you don't think at some point it's a business decision, you're fooling yourself. And that's why these comments come out. These idiots that come out and they bash these kids. And I read. I'll use an example because I went to LSU. Like I Greedy Williams. People are bashing Greedy Williams, and you forget about the 2 years where the dude got thrown at maybe 25 times in 2 years. You watched one of the greatest cornerbacks in college football ever play, and then you're going to bash him because he's going to go get what first round picks average $18 million last year. Picks 1 through 10, their signing bonus is anywhere from 10 to 6, 7, 8 million bucks. Like, you're going to bitch about that? Like, we're going to play UCF in the Fiesta Bowl. I couldn't give two shits. What do you have to gain as Greedy Williams going to play UCF? Pride. But bullshit, man. We can have this discussion now because in a few years, at some point, what's going to happen is that some player is going to sit out the playoffs because he doesn't want to go. And you know what? I could argue to the cows come home that that's probably the right decision. I can sit here and tell you that the 4 teams in the playoffs, there's a few guys on Bama or Clemson or Notre Dame that should never play another down of football, and I wouldn't be wrong. What we should be focused on as a system and as a fan base or whatever the hell you want to call it is these dumbass juniors who want to leave early without a first or second round grade. That's what we should be focused on because those are the idiots, right? Those are the people that have no clue what's going on, and we as an NCAA or whatever, as a system, we fail them as we do our best. The competition committee, they've pushed it down to 3 categories now to where it's just first, second, or neither, as a grade, as an underclassman. But these guys, it's like 140 of them were graded last year, and or 140 of them were given a neither grade last year, and 100 of them went back to school, and 40 still went to the draft. 15 of those guys were drafted before the fourth round, or 4th round or better. So if you don't know anything about or NFL contracts, like NFL contracts are not guaranteed past the 4th round. So you get a neither grade, you're taking a fairly big risk that you're going to go to the NFL and never make a dime because you can sit here and tell me injuries and whatnot, and there is zero difference. Well, I'm sorry, there's one difference, and I'll tell you what it is at the end. There's one difference in going back to school as a senior, getting injured, or tearing, let's just call it a torn ACL in both scenarios, right? You go tear your ACL your senior year of college, or you go get drafted in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round, or go undrafted, and you get injured in the first week of OTAs or second week of OTAs. You know what the difference is? You have a degree in one. You made no dimes. The NFL didn't pay you a dime other than the $850 per diem per week that you made in minicamp or OTAs, whatever the hell it is. That's what you did. That's the risk you took. And you're going to argue with me about injuries, or you're going to argue with me about, I don't know what their upbringing is, so these guys need to go to the NFL. Well, obviously these guys don't know very much about their own upbringing because they're going to go mortgage their entire future and screw their entire longevity because they decided to go to the NFL early and didn't listen to somebody who gave them a grade of a neither in the draft. So you're right. Maybe I don't know their upbringing, but they obviously don't know what they're doing either. So your 2 biggest arguments that I hear made all the time, injuries and, they came from X and X situation. Well, go get a free degree, and you go get a job. Your return on investment is fairly good if you paid 0 and you go, or you're able to get a job that requires a degree. To me, that's, simple math here. The average NFL life is just over 3 years. All rookie years are 4 years. The first round get a 5th year option. So again, simple math can tell you that the average rookie is going to get 1 contract in the NFL. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but numbers don't lie. Statistics are what they are. They're an input of numbers that spit out an output. It's not pixie dust. It's not me pulling numbers out of my ass. It's statistics for a reason. It's black and white. So we can sit here and we can complain about these guys that don't play in the bowl game, the meaningless bowl games that I'm going to tell you they're meaningless. I'm sorry. You're going to tell you they compete for championships. Okay, maybe you can argue the 4 teams are in the playoffs. After that, if I'm Greedy Williams, I'm out. And I support the hell out of him. And I loved watching the dude play for 2 years. Dude was one of the best cornerbacks I've ever seen, and we've had a lot of good ones. And instead of me faulting this guy for trying to better his life and taking the chances to better his life, instead I would rather focus on what he provided for the last 2 years and in his play on the field. Like, come on. Like, we look, as the NCAA or colleges, we can, and I don't agree that these dudes should be paid. I don't. They get enough in college football. But we presumably chew them up and spit them out, right? So if there are ways for them to mitigate risk or to mitigate the chewing up and spitting out, then I support it 100%. Because unless there's a rule that tells them that they have to do X and X to be eligible for the NFL, right now they are fulfilled. Their NFL requirements are fulfilled. So they are going to the draft. So it has to be a business decision at some point in time. And if you think, again, if you think it's different, you are crazy. And it's a reason that you're going to drive yourself crazy, calling these guys stupid and making yourself look like an idiot. Right? So instead, as a fan, enjoy the time you have with these dudes and what they bring to you on a Saturday. They embrace LSU or Ohio State or Florida. They do. They wouldn't be here if they didn't. But they are here. Look, college football is as much like college basketball as it's ever been. It is a stepping stone. And again, you can't have this 1950s mentality. You have to evolve, or you're going to look stupid. So at some point in time, it's about the, you got to leave college and go work, doing the same thing, right? Your work required you to stay and get a degree. Theirs doesn't, right? So instead of worrying about the guys that are guaranteed to make money, we should be more worried about these underclassmen who ruin their lives by leaving early with all the information telling them that they should. Let me know what you think. Give me your opinion. I'll be glad to argue and disagree with you. Check me out on YouTube, Next Level Sports. I'll check y'all later.